We have with us in studio tonight Abdiaziz, Amina, and Abdullahi. They're all peace activists, but all also playing a specific role. So, Abdiaziz, you started the Eastern Africa Development Agency with a focus on looking at this situation and others and trying to address them, because I know Wajir is also a cause for concern. Start by telling us what's the situation on the ground, the humanitarian and security situation.
At the moment, the situation on the ground is appalling, as there are a lot of displaced persons. And despite the displaced persons from both sides who are coming from Mandera and Wajir, there are also IDPs who are integrated within the towns where they were attacked and there were conflicts. And the most needy things are in food, in non-food items, medical supplies, and rebuilding of the destroyed houses.
And when we're talking about IDPs over the years, it is tens of thousands of people who've been displaced in this conflict.
Yeah.
Amina, it's difficult to stand up in a situation where there is a lot of hate. It's a hard word to use, but it does happen, and this is what feeds the conflict. It's difficult as a young person to stand up and say, we're going to stand for peace. What made you decide to do that, and what are the repercussions?
Julie, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. You know, if you watch what's happening in Mandera and we don't stand up for it and we don't bring their plight to light, then who'll stand up for us when everybody in Mandera is no more? Who will stand up for us when we need, you know, we need people to help us, and it is bloodshed and our people are still fighting.
So it was something you felt you had to do, and you've quoted there the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Yes. What are the repercussions? Is it difficult to be talking peace and cohesion in such an environment?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult knowing the clan dynamics of northern Kenya and the Somali community here in Kenya. It's very difficult when political leaders will use the clan government, you know, to achieve selfish interests and misuse the masses so that they can fight each other. And the person at the grassroots level does not understand, you know, that they're being misused. They see these people as their small gods. So it's not easy.
Let me come to you now, Abdullahi. You're a journalist as well as being part of this activism for peace. Where are the missing links? A lot of times I do hear people saying, you're not covering Mandera enough, you're not paying attention to Wajir. What role can the media and other stakeholders play in trying to be a part of resolving this situation?
Thank you for having me. You know, Mandera is a bit far from Nairobi. And often when things happen, it doesn't immediately reach here. The media role is to project the processes or rather the conflict that's happening in Mandera, in the sense that if they go onto the ground, which they rarely do, the problem is in Mandera County, the dynamics of politics and different interests interest. First, people are killing each other not because they hate each other. It's because the political class are interested in money, power, and resource. Now, the media could have interrogated, and I will say the Kenyan media has failed the people of Mandera County. We haven't seen citizens on the ground covering the conflict. It has escalated from 2010. In the last few months, people have been dying, people have been displaced. We haven't seen human interest stories. The common man being covered. We see politicians going to elected politicians going to Red Court and other places being covered. What about the voices of the women who lost their kids? Right. What about the widows? What about the fathers and mothers who are on the ground innocent, who lost their kids? While the elected leaders from Mandera County, I'm sorry to say this, it's embarrassing that they all live in Nairobi.
So those are very powerful points you've raised there, and we hear you and recognize those issues. Let's come to the question of how exactly now we move forward to resolve this. And Abdiaziz, I start with you. Let's Stop Mandera is an initiative that you're all part of that is getting people talking about this issue, which is the starting point. What have you achieved so far, and what next?
So far, we met with representatives of in both sides, youth and elders, and there is so much goodwill from all sides. Everyone wants peace, and all the county leaders are also committed to that. The county governor.
Genuinely? Because you would think if it's genuine, it would happen.
Yeah, genuinely. They are supporting our efforts and they are behind us. The First Lady of Mandera County also is doing her best in raising awareness through the women. And despite that, there is also a need for the Kaparo-led commission appointed by the President. to go to the ground. They need to start working.
I understand still a lot of logistics being done and preparations, but you need to see them on the ground.
We need to see them on the ground.
Amina, let me come to you now. And what do you see as the greatest potential in transforming this situation? What are you guys doing to ensure that the people themselves drive that call for peace?
We are making the people own the process. The main people running it, the ambassadors of this are people from Mandera, both from different communities. We cannot ignore the clan dynamics in the area. We've also been trying to reconcile the youth from both sides. We're also trying to change the mindset. You know, Plato's allegory of the cave.
Yes.
We have the enlightened have a duty to break those chains from the minds of those that are ignorant, those that are not aware of the realities. One, and two, we're trying to engage people on the platform, telling them, listen, if at all we have to, you know, have peace in Mandera, it's not only the people. We also have to have intelligence in place, whereby the leaders' phones are tapped. Their conversations on the ground, physical or by phone, are tapped, you know, and all the and held accountable for the mischief and all that is happening in the bloodshed. And two, civic education. Yes. You know, intensive civic education. Let the people know that it is not in their welfare to fight. Bloodshed is not going to bring any sort of peace for them.
It doesn't help anybody.
It doesn't
and
help.
You're a young lady after my own heart. She speaks of Plato's allegory of the cave. If you have Google, Plato's allegory of the cave, if you want to understand transformation and how it happens, that's a powerful, powerful tool. I finish with you, Abdullahi, and the all-important question. What message should we send out now to those who are listening? Whether it's local leaders, local government, county government, or the citizenry, this is your chance to send a message. And I'll ask each of you to do that as we wrap up. Let's start with you. What's your message?
I will say that the barrel of the gun has never solved any political conflict in the world. People should engage. If you look at the whole misunderstandings amongst people, they kill each other. There comes a time when people will sit and talk. The people of Mandera have lived together for ages.
Speak the same language?
They speak the same language. They pray in the same mosque. Abdiaziz and I have come from Ramu. And that's where today it has been affected most. Why? Because of the few interest of few individuals. People are burning. And I will say, whether you like it or not, the two communities will always coexist together as they did for the last 100 years. We are not going anywhere. Let us talk. Let us discuss the processes. Devolution should not be a devil in our county. We have challenges, but let us share the resources. Let us talk first. If it's about political seats, let's share them in a very civilized way and people talk about it. But this idea of, and I would also want the elected politicians, because sometimes I reserve myself from saying leaders. Leaders live with people. All of them live in Nairobi. When the primary school in Mandera County performs poor, all the governors and the MPs' kids are going to very expensive schools at the behest of Nairobi County. Very cold water. What about the kid who goes to school in a war torn in Ramu? Who is helping him? Let us take responsibility. We have engaged the youth on social media. We have hashtag on Twitter. We have Let's Talk in Mandera.
Is that the hashtag Let's Talk in Mandera?
Let's Talk Mandera.
Thank you.
And then the venom you will see from the youth.
Oh, no.
Because they are not given platform to talk. People have intra-conflict. When I have problem and I have nobody to talk, I'm going to bust. When people are killed and they are not given platform to talk, the hatred, the rage goes up. What happens? Shall we continue with this vicious cycle of killing each other? How long are we going to finish each other? We can't finish each other. Let us share the resource. The county government, whether it likes or not, it is the government of Mandera County. It's not for the Garis, it's not for the Godias or anybody else. Devolution should benefit all of us. Everybody has the right to benefit from the resource because it's the taxpayers' money.
Thank you so much for that. Amina, very briefly, your message.
My message to the people of Mandera is, I'll say a verse, a saying in Somali, Dagal will kumadashe will bakudinta. You know, no son is born in a state of violence. A son dies in a state of violence. Let us learn to coexist peacefully so that we can have, you know, development. Now we cannot have the excuse of marginalization because devolution has come to us. Wow. So let us make good use of all the resources we have and let us work together.
Powerful. Abdiaziz, you have
yeah, to my people of Mandera, we all need peace. and war cannot be a solution. We need to live in peace. To the national government and President Uhuru and his government, we need to bring peace in Mandera. They have to commit, and not just in terms of resources, but in terms of also security commitment. If the governor's life is at risk, every day attacks are after him. Are the people of Mandera safe?
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I think powerful, powerful statements, and we thank you for coming in to share this story. Hashtag Let's Talk Mandera. Start talking and taking out maybe some of the rage and the anger and frustration and looking at solutions and a way forward for all the people of Mandera. To the leaders of Mandera, live in Mandera. If you are a leader, be with your people. I think very powerful statements from you all. And I need to say that all the people here are from different clans. Am I correct? Yeah. And we don't need to say which clans they're from. It's not important. But at the end of the day, all wanting peace for Mandera. Thank you all. We celebrate you as young Kenyan heroes. And please continue doing what you're doing for the people.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now we